If you want to blow up your semi-private personal training because you have a system that creates a great customer experience, a great follow-up, and great coaching so that you have a longer customer lifetime value, then check this out. I'm gonna give you a structure that we use here at Vigor Ground to have a very successful semi-private personal training system. So to build yours into the multiple six figures or even seven figures, make sure you check this out as I take you through things that are very important that a lot of coaches do not do. Hey, what's going on? This is kind of a coach's corner. Some things that have come up, questions that have come up through the content in the past, talking about for me to dive into semi-private personal training. Now, we started doing semi-private personal training 15 years ago. Actually, I was still in the big box gym when I implemented it, where the big box gym was saying like, whoa, hold up, you're gonna train multiple clients. And then I would pitch it to them that it would be better for them because they'd be making more money per hour, but so would I. Right now, again, semi-private personal training for us is now up to 5 clients. That's not set in stone. I would say some businesses do less, 3. Some businesses do more, but we do about up to 5 clients with a completely custom program. But what I want to take you through today is a bit of a system to make you successful with your semi-private personal training. Talk even, I would say, a little bit about, getting people in, generating leads, and like the mistakes that a lot of coaches make that you won't make because you're going to follow this system. So it start off, think about this. We talk a lot about, obviously this is content, but if you go to my Instagram account, you go to Facebook, you go to YouTube, email, this is all content, right? Content is actually, believe it or not, the first phase of customer experience. So when people are talking about customer experience, they usually don't bring up marketing and content, right? They're just thinking, okay, once a client comes into the gym, everything from that point on is customer experience. Not true. People are already judging you based on what do you provide, the value you provide, the content you provide to the marketplace, right? So that's a lot of times how they find you. They see, well, it might be a referral, but they might see a video. They might see a friend's testimonial, a friend sharing it, or their friend training in stories at your gym, whatever it may be. That's where it begins, and that's where people already have an opinion, and that's where expert opinion and positioning already begins, right? So these are important. Now, we're not going to dive too deep into this. The main things that I would say here is, number one, with content, always share useful, valuable content with your audience. Usually that's something that solves problems. Now, think about this. I'm hoping to solve some problems for you to improve your semi-private program, help you make more money, help you get a better result with your clients, both in experience and for them to have a longer customer lifetime value, right? From there, when you have marketing, again, having a great offer. I've shared my offer before. So our offer is a 30-day results in advance program where they get 1 time a week semi-private personal training, nutrition coaching, access to our small group personal training, access to our team training. They get a physical therapy, injury and performance assessment, right, and much more. So the value is like $600-700 for $197, and that creates lead generation. Now, that's not the only offer that we run, but it's the main one. And here's another thing that I'm going to circle here is follow-up that we're not going to dive into crazy deep right now, but huge mistake in industry is the follow-up. Somebody gets a lead, they contact them for about a week, maybe 2, and then they fall off the map, right? There has to be a consistent follow-up, nonstop, basically for forever if you think about it, right? So it's important to have a CRM system, like some type of customer relationship management. Again, I'm a huge fan of Vagaro Pro. You can check it out. We'll put a link in the comments or somewhere. All of this is part of the customer experience. So you can differentiate yourself in your semi-private personal training by the content that you create in the marketplace, by the offers that you create in the marketplace, and even on the follow-up, right? These are all things that people go like, wow, like these guys are really on top of it, right? They have great positioning, branding, expert advice, great offers, and they're very consistent with follow-up. There's very few people that are gonna go like, be annoyed by the follow-up. And if they are, I always go back like, hey, I'm sorry to annoy you, but you reached out to us, so I wanna make sure I take care of you because you reached out to get help with your body transformation, and that's what we do. So it's an important part that I wanna just touch base on because majority of the things are gonna be like what happens once you get the lead, right? So somebody fill out a form on your website, reached out to you through social media, a friend referred them, you got a phone number, any other marketing, I would say, strategy that you employed, Facebook advertising, and you got this lead. Now, once you got this lead, of course, it's important to set up a strategy session. Now, remember, strategy session, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, what that is and how you do that. But first of all, you got to make sure that that lead comes in. And this is, again, where this comes in, follow-up, okay? Now, very few people call, answer their phone anymore, but still, we call, send an email, and we text. Usually text is the one that tends to get people to respond to us. One little trick, though, we try to find them on social media, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll message them too. Because now, think about that, right? We got phone, unlikely that they answer, email, possibly. Then we have text. Then we have, for instance, FB, IG, even a Twitter, but those two are the main ones, right? So now we got 5 points of contact where we're going to try to get in touch with them and continue to follow up. And this is where the mistake happens because most people don't follow up well, but we're going to go through different platforms and make sure we're following up so that we can get them in for a one-on-one strategy session. Right now, before they come in, we send them a client intake form. I'll post it somewhere so that you get access to it to see ours. We have about 30 questions, but it gives us a lot of insight, right? To make sure to see, what is their goal? What are the obstacles that are holding them back, right? What have they struggled with in the past? So basically, we get a lot of information before we, so when they get to the strategy session, we've already got a lot of stuff, right? It's better for, we've been curious, we understand them better. We can prepare. Remember, this is a really, really big one, preparation. I can't tell you the amount of coaches that do not prepare when it comes to assessments and strategy session. When I say prepare, I mean finding out more about the client, right? They're not just showing up and just asking questions there, but now actually having a bunch of insight of what's going on. So for example, one of the questions is, do they have support from their spouse, right? Do they have a pet? So now we know some information about them, and know the name of the dog or cat or things like that, because that can build rapport, right? And the key for the semi-private is this. Notice, it's one-on-one strategy sessions, right? Because and the other thing, this is going to make the program more successful because one-on-one we can spend more time with them, see what they can't do, right? We can see their restrictions, limitations, and remember, in this form, we're going to find out about their injury history, we're going to find out about their training history, we're going to find out about all the different things like that. So once they come in for a one-on-one strategy session, they're going to have, the first thing that we do is, I call it the GPS A to B, right? Now, the GPS A to B is finding out, first of all, where they are, which we'll already know through the client intake form, but in their own words, and digging in a little bit. Hey, how long have you struggled with this? What made you decide to reach out to us today? Really big question, right? And then as they dig deep, and you're going, hey, what have you struggled with? What is the obstacle in a way right now? Where are you right now? Tell me more about that. How does that make you feel, right? So we're diving into the pain. From there, even the intake form, there's one of the questions that asks, if I can wave a magic wand today, right, and tomorrow you wake up and you are exactly where you want to be, right? Tell me, what is life like? What do you feel like? What things are not in your life and what things are in your life, right? So we create what's called the gap, right? So when you look at A, this is where they are and where they don't want to be, and B is where they want to be, right? And the gap is a path that we can help them bridge. So this is a very important part, right? And we're going to do a whole separate vlog where I'm going to dig deep into how to do the sales part of this. Now, here's one of the biggest things here when it comes to the questions, right? We want to find out where they are, all the pain, all the struggles, all the obstacles that they're facing, what's worked in the past, what hasn't worked in the past, why they are where they are, and then where they want to be. Now, there's something that I call, it's very powerful. Notice, beat up notebook from just years of journaling. Something I call the Super 7 readiness questions. Now check this out. This is so powerful. If you ask this in your strategy session, you will get so much insight. Huge mistake coaches make not to have something like this. What do you think are the 3 most important ways I can help you as a coach? Right? So it makes them explicitly say what are the 3 best ways, most powerful ways that you can help them as a coach. Number 2, how will you actually measure that I'm helping you with these things? Some people might say numbers, this, that, weight on the scale, but trust me, I've heard a lot of different answers. How I feel, my confidence, pant sizes. But the main thing is that they tell you exactly what they're looking for. So again, question number 1, what do you think are the 3 most important ways I can help you as a coach? How will you actually measure that I'm helping you with these things? Number 3, what do you think would be the most powerful, most impactful things I could do for you during our coaching? It's a little bit similar, but still, what are the most powerful and impactful things that I could help you do during our coaching? Number 4, this is a powerful one. What do you think will happen if we don't coach together, right? Or I would even sometimes switch this and say, what will happen if you don't take action on getting a coach? Because now they have to say like, well, man, I'm gonna like stay stuck, go back through trying to do it myself. How has that worked for you in the past? Number 5, what do you think would constitute poor coaching on my end, right? So you're already asking them like, what is a no-no? Don't you think that you're gonna be a better coach when you already find out what's a no-no for them, what's a non-negotiable for them? So this is very important. What do you think I should do if you fall behind in the pursuit of your goals or break our agreements, right? Because basically, what do you want me to do, right? So you are asking them what they want you to do as a coach when they fall off, basically, how do you want to keep them accountable? Like this is an important question because you're finding out the ways that they want to be coached, so you just deliver the ways that they want to be coached. And also, how will you know that the financial investment for coaching has been a good value, right? So what will it mean for them to where it was worth the value, right? Those are the Super 7 readiness questions that I would ask. So they're different. So in the client intake form, I'm going to get a lot of information. I'm going to find out A to B, where they want to be. I'm going to ask these questions. They're going to give me a ton of insight. I'm going to take, obviously, notes on that because it's going to help me out. And then we'd go into assessment. And assessment is going to be probably about 15, maybe 20 minutes long. I'm trying to see, and by the way, if you guys got, I have a whole workshop on how we do assessments in depth. I'm going to take them through movements because the thing is, the assessment is more an opportunity for me to see, hey, can they hinge safely? Can they do a deadlift, a kettlebell deadlift, maybe a trap bar deadlift? Can they do a goblet squat, right? How are they doing their body weight squat? What about a 90-90 static lunge? What about a push-up or a row? Right, I'm going to see can they pass an overhead flexion test? And it's going to be an opportunity for me to connect with them, right? Because if there's something going on, I can ask them deeper questions. I can also, when I build that program, realize that like, hey, they can't do this or they can do this, so I'm going to make sure the program is safe. And I'm always going to also talk about this, right? Like most people that we see, I'm sure that you see as well, what's the number one thing? Like be safe. I want it to be safe, right? Most people come in with threat. Like we're not talking about, former pro athletes or high-level athletes. We're talking about folks that maybe haven't really done a lot of things, or even if they haven't done it for a while. Say they come in and they're like, oh man, I'm going to be crazy sore. Is this going to be like, a gym that everybody's hardcore, but like I can barely do things. So your whole thing the whole time is keeping them safe. And look, let me even tell you a couple of different things that like in the assessment are powerful. So imagine somebody doing a squat, right? An assessment of a squat. And not to stand out in front of them like this, because for some people that's threatening and confrontational, but like stand side by side with them, right? That can be a subliminal thing, but as they're doing that thing, instead of facing them face to face, I'm side by side. I'm like, hey, Mary, what we're gonna do right now is just bring your arms out, and I want you to just squat down, whatever feels natural, whatever stance feels natural. And all I'm gonna do is just observe, and I'm gonna watch them from the side. How does that feel? Okay, great. How about we switch this up a little bit? I'm gonna bring you this belt. Let me show you how I'm gonna do this. Because all of those are opportunities to build rapport, to also build value. So for example, if somebody does an overhead flexion test and can't pass it, and then we show them a couple mobility drills, and all of a sudden that range is better, right? They're gonna get some what I call results in advance during that assessment, and you're already showing them how you can help them, right? This is great because I assumptively talk through this stuff, by the way, right? When I say assumptively talk, I'm like, this is gonna be great. Even after the first program, you're gonna be moving better. That little glitch that you said you came in with is already better. We're gonna strengthen that so much, and on a day-to-day basis, you're gonna start not having that nagging experience at all. So they haven't even signed up for anything yet, but I'm already talking as if they have. I'm always assumptively, can't wait to build out your next program. When somebody's doing their first 30 days, I'm already talking, this is the foundational program. You're already seeing improvements. Can't wait for phase 2 and 3 where we're gonna really build strength, and I'm gonna add some performance on top of that, right? So I'm already talking about they're gonna be with us moving forward. So again, this is just another strategy and something that's important. After the assessment, when we sit back down, we go into, and we have always been in the trusted advisor role. Like, and I always say this, like, you are the trusted advisor, and you should ethically, if you believe that you can't help this person, you shouldn't help this person, right? You should be like, hey, I think that I'm going to refer you somewhere else, which should rarely happen for people to come to see you. But if that's the case, that's what you should be doing. So in this case, you have now come to the end, and you know exactly where they are, you know where they want to be. And from there, what I would tend to do is go like, hey, based on what you've told me, and I repeat everything that they said. You know, like, hey, you want to get out of low back pain. It's really frustrating. It's giving you energy. You want to build that confidence back. Your goal is to lose 50 pounds and like keep that off because you've lost and gained weight before, but it's so frustrating. You want it to be sustainable, and you don't want to be stressed out about diets and like feeling crazy and being on a tightrope. All of those things. And here's what you want. You want to get to, and I'm going to repeat all the things they said. All right, cool. Based on that, I believe you should do either our most accelerated program, and I give them ethically what they should get. 3 times a week, semi-private personal training. You're going to get support nutritionally. You're going to get this, that, and that. This is this program, and that's what I highly recommend, right? So you're prescribing it like a doctor. And then number 2, you know, which is a program that's not, it doesn't have as much support and coaching and accountability, and you're not going to see me as much, but it's our most popular program, and it's this much. Which one would you like to go with? I tend to love like drawing a basically graph / a chart and going like, hey, here's what I believe is going to be the most accelerated and is going to help you the fastest. Now, it's going to take more coaching. We're probably going to do a little bit more on the nutritional side. It'll be faster, but the cost is going to be higher. Okay? Now, this one is going to take a little bit longer, but less stress, so on and so forth. The reason I do that, because let's say somebody's got a wedding in 4 months. Most people will go like, nope, I want this one. All right, that one's $1,500 a month, no problem. I'm ready to rock, right? I got to be ready for my wedding. Somebody else might be like, whoa, that's too much, whether it's on the price side or it's like, I don't want to have as much going on. It's too overwhelming. Let's do this one, right? But it's always an A and B. Like best option, second best option. They're usually not going to be your cheapest, right? Because those aren't going to be the best. Let's be honest. Somebody sees you more, you have more coaching, more accountability, more support, they're going to do better. And from there, you just go, which one of these? So A and B, right? It's a call, so A and B close. Now, worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario. So let's take this, I would say, this program where it comes to like our program, right? You would have and be able to still downsell into something that's, for example, a trial, right? Which is still a paid program, but it's, again, 30 days, one-time semi-private, risk-free, so on and so forth. Okay, now, whichever route you go here, this is what's really important. Creating expectations. Remember, most people, first of all, people get anxiety if they have uncertainty. So if you can take away the uncertainty, you'll lower the anxiety. And you'll also prevent buyer's remorse, right? And so when we're looking at this, expectation is like, here's exactly what's gonna happen. First of all, here's another, when I say trick, schedule their first training session before you sign the contract, because it means that their training is more important than the money, right? Which is exactly how it should be. Like, it's little subliminal things, but they matter. And you create expectations. You say, hey, listen, like, we're going to message you and email you as soon as the program's ready. You know, we set up this next training session. We'll confirm with you when you come in for your first training session. In that group, there's going to be 2 other coaching clients, but I'm going to already talk to them, so I'm going to be able to spend more time with you, especially at the beginning, okay? Also, we're going to add you to an email list, and so you're going to be receiving emails. The first month, you're going to get 4 different emails. All of those are going to help you and support you both with your nutrition or lifestyle things, letting you know exactly what's going to happen, and you can always email us back and so on and so forth. We're also going to add you to a Facebook group. Here's my, this is my cell number. I'm already going to text you after our strategy session so you have access to me, right? Every single thing that they need to know. It's like, even after this assessment, you might be a little bit sore tomorrow, right? Because you haven't done this for a while, so your muscles are going to be working. It's called DOMS. Everything's fine. Here's what's going to help you feel a little bit better. Break everything down, because now you're letting them know what's going to happen, right? And then, again, as soon as you let them know what to happen, and how they can reach out to you, can ask any questions, the anxiety comes down. Okay, so now that we have them and they become a client, right? Just remember, what does client mean? The term client is to be under somebody's care. Okay, now what's cool about this is, like, I've already shared on YouTube a lot of program templates. There's a video with beginner and intermediate fat loss program. There's my Athlete for Life program design templates, where I literally take you through how to design a program. But my recommendation here is that you actually have templates. You are still individualizing programs, but you have structured templates, so it makes it easier and faster for you to create programs for your clients. Things like, by the way, I have no, I would say no affiliation in any type of way with this, because you got so many different apps. The one I like because it's free, that's why I don't have any affiliation either, is called Quick Coach. But you can create templates in Quick Coach to now create programs, because here's what's important. Asking clients and saying like, hey, how would you like to have your program delivered? Would you just like to have a physical folder when you come to the gym and your program is in there, right? Because we tell our clients and we let them know like, hey, my number one thing is to coach you, right? So you're gonna write or put in an app your weights, right? So we train them that they're gonna do that by themselves, so that you're not doing everything for them, right? There's autonomy, okay? Hey, do you like to have the program delivered on an app, or would you like to have it printed out as a PDF and put in a folder? So they let you know. But let's say if they want it to be on an app, and you can deliver that on an app, something like a Quick Coach, you can already have those templates in there, so it makes it faster for you to create. Here, the other thing is reaching out to all your other semi-privates ahead of time and letting them know like, hey, listen, we got a new coaching client coming in this first week with their new program. I'm gonna be spending a little bit more time with them, just to let you know. And now, you've created an expectation. They understand. They were a new client before, right? And now you can spend more time with that new client, with other clients, a little bit less. There's an understanding. Communication was there, and you integrate them. Now, like again, if you're a coach that's just starting semi-private personal training, I wouldn't go from a one-on-one to now having 4. Go to 2, 3 at most. Get used to coaching more people, because it's a skill set. It's just like anything else. Right? That's what we always do. Like if I have a new coach coming in, they've never done semi-private training to a certain degree, we will first have them do 2 coaching clients for a while. They get comfortable with that, we'll coach them on it, they're constantly getting trained on it, boom, then we go to 3, then we go to 4. Then as they're really experienced, then they'll go to 5, right? Talking to other semi-privates. Here's what's important, like during the strategy session, weekly check-ins. What you have to determine how they can have access to you. Is it through text? Is there any type of software they can communicate through? Can they email you? Right? When are you doing your accountability check-ins? Is it every Sunday? Do they even want that? So I tend to ask, right? Hey, how would you like to be kept accountable? On a weekly basis, but bi-weekly, like in a midweek text and Sunday email. Like what would you like? Right? So now some people might be like, hey, I'm fine as long as I see you. It's good. So just know, because you can record that. And this is, like I'm actually going to dive down here. Having a CRM, like I said, big fan of Vagaro Pro, but it's like being able to take notes on each client. Not only notes on like where, what was their goals, but what are their preferences? How many times did we like to check in on? If there's something new happening in their life, now you can track those things. And again, that improves the customer experience, like big thing. Now on a day-to-day things, I've talked about this before, is the 4x6 cards. Again, I'm gonna keep riffing on this. 4x6 cards is, even to this day, in my pocket, have 4x6 cards. The night before, I'm writing out different things for all the clients or the groups that I have that day. What story do I wanna tell in team training? Is there a client that has something special coming up, a birthday, something that we should celebrate? Like, hey, listen, so proud of you for, fill in the blank. Maybe I have a gift for them because something happened in their life, right? So again, the 4x6 card becomes like a second brain on a day-to-day thing, right? Making sure like, hey, this person, I saw on their Instagram that they tweaked their knee while going for a marathon. Boom, I'm writing that down. They coming from the program and be like, hey, listen, Mike, notice you tweak your knee, so I already made some changes to your program today. We're gonna do deadlifts, we're gonna do RDLs, we got this, that, the other, but we're not gonna do any deep flexion of the knee. They're blown away. They're like, holy shit, how did you, what? It's like, yeah, I checked, I saw on social media, so I already made the changes. It's on a 4x6 card, right? I'm like, hey Mike, don't worry about it, we got you. Also, we'll do some soft tissue work, this, that, the other, right? We'll do some flossing in the knee, so on and forth. Like, this creates an incredible customer experience, but it's a system, right? Every night before the next day, your 4x6 card has notes on what you should be focusing on, the individuals and semi-privates that you're coaching, any changes you need to make. your groups and everything else, right? Second brain, big thing, okay? So from here, because what I really wanted to do with the semi-private training is like, how do you differentiate yourself as a coach and make a better experience, especially at the beginning? Obviously, we'll dive more and we'll have more vlogs doing this. Check this out. So I wrote out the first 30 days of a new member, right? I wanted to give you a blueprint for 28 touch points, by the way, right? So what I outlined here in the first 30 days, there's 28 touch points here. Check this out. So before they even come in for their strategy session, reminder the day before, call, text, and I would even say the day of, send in a text message. You know, if they've never seen you, it's great to send even a picture or a video, but like, hey, I'm so excited. Hey, Jess, can't wait to see you. Remember 332 Burnett Avenue South. I'll see you in the next hour for our strategy session. Can't wait, right? Then you have the strategy session, right? We talked about it here. That's a touch point. Thank you text after the strategy session. Hey, it was great to meet with you. I'm so excited. Can't wait to help you achieve, you know, whatever their goal may be, and something personal that obviously you talked about. Boom. So we got to follow up right there. Thank you card for joining the gym, any way that it went, right? So the day afterwards, handwritten thank you, either appreciation note, thank you card that goes out. They should probably get it again 2 days later. This is an important thing too. We put a gift card for Fit Bar in there too. So it's an appreciation card. Thank you for joining the gym. So excited to have you. And then we put a $10 gift card from Fit Bar in there. The thing about that is there's something called buyer's remorse, right? And like things like this help drop buyer's remorse. So, but it's another touch point. From there, email, text, call to let them know the program's ready. So if they're already scheduled a session, again, this is when you're like, hey, I'm so excited for our first training session. Another part where, again, buyer's remorse can get eliminated because you're doing that. You got email, text, call before the first session, after the first session to see how they feel. This is important, especially at the beginning. Hey, I'm just checking to see how you're feeling, right? Are you sore? What's going on? Like, make sure you're hydrating. Hey, it's the summer months, making sure you get something like an LMNT in, get a little bit of sodium and potassium in. Again, matters. From there, we add them to the newsletter, which is our email newsletter, to the database. So they're gonna get at least 4 emails and 4 touch points in that first month. They get added to the Facebook group, tag them. Again, there should be at least 4 posts in that month, at least once a week. So that's another 4 touch points. Our goal is to have them do at least 8 and 9 sessions in the first 30 days. If they can be semi-private, fantastic. If they're group training, same, I mean, obviously another touch point. Ideally, we have more private stuff possible. Then day 14, whoever signed them up checks in on them. Hey, how's it going? How's everything going? Any questions? Anything that you wanted to talk about? Like, hey, you've done awesome. You've been here XYZ amount of times. You're doing great. Here's all, you know, again, shine the light on the positive things. But the check-in is really important. Then, at the same time, the coach that signed them up sends out a "You're awesome" card. Just like, hey, you're awesome. Ideally, also highlighting certain things that they've done really well. Hey, you couldn't do a push-up when you came in. You already knocked out, 3 excellent push-ups the other day. So proud of you. Like, just improving your form on a trap bar. We went up from 85 to 115 pounds already. Can't wait to see what you do in the next year, right? I'm already assumptively talking. From there, call, text, and then just check in, email check-in end of first month, and a 30-day thank you gift, which now ideally is that when they come in for their 30-day, you give them the thank you gift. Now, what is that for you? It could be a t-shirt, it could be a mug. Again, it could be a smoothie, acai bowl. Again, the most important thing is the thought that there's something special. I've talked about the gift cards before where people get a VIP gift card that they can give to somebody else that becomes now a referral / leads generated person. So this is, you can literally take this framework right here to plug it in as part of the customer experience of the 30 days. And that makes a huge, huge, huge difference. When it comes to on the floor, right? That's a whole separate kind of ball game when we start talking about coaching on the floor. Like you have to, to be great at coaching, you have to give a shit. Like you have to basically, you have to care, you have to be focused. The 4x6 card help you be prepared. But this is what, actually my friend Annie McCloy brought this up, and I love the acronyms. Jazz and Jack, all right? What does that stand for? Jazz means just another session, right? If you're a coach that just comes in and does just another session, you just go through the motions, you go, oh, here's the program, I'm just coaching and so on and so forth, you're not gonna be very successful. You're not gonna have a lot of word of mouth, right? You're not gonna have a lot of referrals because it'll feel like if you feel like, oh, I gotta be here, or not even, I'm just clocking in, you know, I'm just clocking in. If you're just clocking in, you'll be mediocre, maybe good, you'll never create a great career. But guess what? If you come in and you're prepped and you're ready and you're excited and you're focused, you're going to be the person that like a year from now has a waiting list. That's how it works. And what is Jack? Jack is just another client, just another session, just another client. Guess what? If you want to be extremely successful in this industry, those two things are absolutely unacceptable. I don't care if you've done it for 3 years, for 5 years, for 10 years, to 15 years, right? The difference maker, when you look at coaches that have been really successful over the long term, they do not have Jazz and Jack, just another session and just another client. Every session is zoned in, focused, doing the absolute best that you can, providing this incredible experience for the client. And one of the little tricks before, you know, what I would ask the client before the session is like, hey, tell me what you'd like to leave here feeling, right, today. Like, at the end of the session, what would be success for you at the end of the session? How would you want to feel at the end of the session? And they might be like, man, I want to feel more energized, right? Sometimes they'd be like, man, I want to crush myself and like really get the most out of it and like feel, okay, cool, right? So again, like, hey, everything's feeling like, man, I've had a stressful week. I just want my joints to feel better. Okay. So we're going to deliver that to them. The thing that they said they wanted to feel, that's going to be success. But you have to not be, you know, it can't be just another client, another session, right? And it seems like such a basic thing, but this should be basically a value for you, right? When you think about like values, like if you show up and you go like, hey, listen, I got 8 hours of coaching today, 6 hours of coaching, whatever it may be, 5 hours of coaching, it's not gonna be no Jazzes and no Jacks, right? No, just sessions and just clients. And that's what's gonna help you dominate. Now the framework, again, even from the starting point, if you use this and you integrate this, you will have an absolutely, like, you will have a better semi-private personal training program. And I promise you, keep integrating this, your business is gonna grow, your clientele is gonna refer more, they're gonna get better results, and you will do better, period. So, plug and play this, nothing happens if you do not put this to work. Use this system, and you know what? Let me know how you did, and also let me know what other questions you have to improve your personal training business, whether it's semi-private coaching, whether it comes group training, because there'll be much more of this. And if you want to have more of content like this, vlogs like this, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I got a lot more coming this way. Coach Luka, peace out.